Where am I?
You are in Eden. You're safe.
Was I unconscious? Swamp is so hostile. We were...
What caused these wounds?
A nightmarish creature. A colleague and I had left to fetch some help when we were attacked. I managed to run away, but I don't know what happened to him. As for those...
Show me the location of your...
There. Please.
Thank you. Bit of poison on my blade. Then let's go! poison on my blade. Then let's go!
See if you can ward off this fate! I do not remember there being a path in this place the last time we came.
The researchers must have cleared this passage. If we follow it, we should find it.
Suggested by the tablets. I had no way of knowing.
Hey, what's happening here? I could hear you from miles away.
Your Excellency, I'm so happy to see you. You arrived right on time to settle this matter.
How did you manage to find us in the middle of this swamp?
Brother Fidelis managed to reach Eden. He's the one who told us where your camp was.
But he didn't leave alone. What happened to Father Orbricus, who was accompanying him?
He must be dead, like our other companions. This is all your fault. This is yet more proof that you are not fit to lead such a team. I should be the one in charge.
Maybe you should calm down and explain to me what's happening here.
This expedition was undertaken with no concern for common sense. We are not equipped to explore this type of place. Our people are disappearing, and all we have found are some falsified writings.
Brother Virgil is terrified, which probably explains why he is being so disingenuous. We have made incredible discoveries, and we could find more.
You are beyond redemption. I won't waste another second talking to you. If you want to talk to me, Your Excellency, it will have to be without her.
How charming.
Your Excellency, I hope you will forgive us for that scene. My relations with Virgil have always been difficult, but ever since we arrived here, it has been unbearable. I'm afraid we may need an arbiter.
Before anything else, I need to know what led to this situation between you.
What would you like to know?
For what reason were you
The expedition itself, I'm afraid. Virgil was all for him. Our discoveries in Eden were sufficient. They confirmed what he wanted. The rest did not matter. According to him, we should never have continued. And when we found new tablets, it became even worse.
Were they also written by Saint Matthias?
Without a doubt. The handwriting is the same. There are also some patterns, some islander symbols. It's fascinating. But what really angers Virgil is the content we managed to decipher. Our founder explains that he learned a lot from the islanders. Something our brother cannot accept. He now persists in saying that these tablets are fake, forged by the natives themselves.
Brother Fidelis told me that several members of the expedition have disappeared.
Yes, that's why he left along with Father Orbricus to fetch some help. 3 more of our colleagues are missing. And I'm not even talking about the one... I must admit that I underestimated the hardships I made a mistake. I should have prepared this expedition more thoroughly.
And no one has searched for those who are missing.
I wanted us to search for them, but someone, along with lack of preparation, our constantly decreasing number, and
And by someone, I suppose you mean Brother...
Indeed.
I'm thankful for these pieces of information. But you understand that I will also have to talk to Brother...
Of course, that's understandable. You must hear us both before you...
Brother Virgil,
What do you want?
can you explain
The reason for it is very simple. It is Eugenia's folly. This woman should never have been the supervisor of our team. The discoveries made in Eden were sufficient, but no. She didn't want to stop the research. She organized this expedition in a hurry, without taking elementary precautions, and now she's accepting as facts the delirious writings we discovered.
What do you mean?
We found some new tablets, alleged, but their content is so absurd that they were... I am certain that the natives must have found these stones before us.
How would they have done that? The natives cannot write.
They must have been helped by an unscrupulous settler. How would I know?
Brother Fidelis told me that some of your colleagues went missing.
They did not go missing. They were killed. It was the wild beasts, the diseases, and let's not forget the savages. We can feel their presence, roaming around the camp at night. I am certain that they are responsible for the death of our colleagues.
That's strange. There aren't many villages around here. We have been in this region before, and the only native we met was a little insane but would have been incapable of killing several priests.
Those savages may very well have been following us since our departure. We will not be safe on this island until it is entirely converted.
I see. So, you haven't tried to find your colleagues?
So we can die as well. I am not as crazy as Sister Eugenia.
I cannot take sides in your quarrel for now. And even if you think that...
Well, but I would not get my hopes up. To get there,
of poison on my blade. Then let's go!
Watch out!
A bit of poison on my blade. Then let's go!
Watch out! Grenade!
Let's see if you can ward off this fate!
This poor soul was almost entirely devoured. He must have been killed by swamp animals.
Indeed, he was devoured. But he was already dead. There is a mark here, on the bones, that could only have resulted from the strike of a cutting weapon.
This man's skull is sunken, but he doesn't look like he was in a fight. Could he have fallen?
If that were the case, there would be other marks of impact on his body. No. He was struck with an object to the back of the head. Given the shape of the wound, it was inflicted with a metal mace.
Bit of poison on my blade. Then let's go!
These fang marks are impressive. The poor man didn't have a chance. He must have been attacked by a large reptile. Most likely a Llewellyn.
Hold on. Do you see these iridescent marks on his skin? They look like the marks that the priest's spells leave on their victims. I've seen them many times before.
But what was he doing alone so far from camp? It seems obvious now that these disappearances were orchestrated.
Someone particularly devious has assassinated these people and disguised their deaths to take advantage of them. Who else could it be than the vehement brother Virgil?
Indeed. I think that we should go find this brother and ask for an explanation.
Bit of poison on my blade. Then let's go! Let's see if we can ward off this fate!
Brother Virgil.
Your Excellency!
Indeed. I regret to say that they are indeed all dead.
I knew it. What a waste.
I'm afraid someone else is responsible for this. These deaths are not accidental, and yet they were disguised as such.
The savages! Their thirst for blood is unquenchable. I knew we should never have come without an escort.
You know very well that the natives have nothing to do with this. They would have had no reason to disguise...
Who else could it be?
Someone who desperately wanted this expedition to fail.
Fine. You unmasked me. But know that the Ordo Luminis sent me to keep an eye on this expedition, to ensure that the discoveries we made would not jeopardize our nation or our presence on this island. But the inscriptions on the tablets are a heresy. A dangerous manipulation. Can you imagine what would happen if it was said that our founder listened to the teachings of the... But even then, foolish Eugenia accepted these discoveries as truth, without any hesitation, without realizing that our entire nation could suffer because of it. So yes...
I understand that you might want to protect your nation, but to go as far...
Come now. What would you do if someone were threatening the You cannot make me believe that you would not be willing to kill. You may have already done so. But since you want to avoid using violence, help me convince Eugenia to go back to Eden. My colleagues and I know how to sort through these discoveries. And you will be rewarded, of course.
It seems to me that all members of this expedition are concerned. They... Brother Virgil.
What do you want?
I must leave you. Everybody listen. Alas, I must inform you that I have found the dead...
How awful.
Someone wanted us to believe that they were killed by... Your colleagues were murdered, and their bodies abandoned.
What?
Brother Virgil confessed to his crime.
Monster! You will pay for these crimes. These people you...
You stupid goose. You really believe that I will let you pass judgment on me? You shouldn't have been so quick to accept these and want to reveal them for all to hear. You are solely responsible for these deaths.
How dare you present yourself as the protector of our nation? Murderer!
A bit of poison on my blade. Then let's go!
Watch out! Grenade!
I'm sorry, sister. Brother Virgil fled during the battle.
The coward. And naturally, his accomplices fled along with him.
Perhaps I shouldn't have revealed his crimes in front of everyone. But I thought it was the best way of ensuring he would be judged.
Considering how high tensions have been these last few days, a fight was inevitable, alas. But you did what you thought was fair. Here, take this. As a token of gratitude for shedding light on these dismal events. Alas, we will have to go back to Eden as well. There are too few of us to continue the research.
Were you hoping to discover more?
Of course. This place was but a single step in St. Matthias's journey. The last tablets speak of a journey northbound, further up in the swamp. But even if Virgil is no longer a threat, we are not sufficiently...
We could go there for you if you wish. You just have to tell us where to look.
That would be marvelous. Of course, you would have to start from the excavation. I think I noticed a path going north when I was there, actually. Look for any traces of life. Perhaps you will be lucky enough to find more of his writings.
Don't worry. I will conduct this reef.
If their so-called saint lived around here, he must have looked for a sheltered area. Watch out! There's another one of those creatures.
Bit of poison on my blade. Then let's go!
Watch out!
Let's see if you can ward off this fate. Let's see if you can ward off this fate. Armor will no longer protect you. Careful! You're wounded! Let's see if you can ward off this fate!
The so-called saint lived around here. He must have looked for a sheltered area. Watch out! There's another one of those creatures.
Let's go!
Watch out! Grenade!
cavern. That looks like a rather nice place to settle. Some people have lived, but we will have to look further if we want to find traces of the saint.
Let's go!
Bit of poison on my blade. Bit of poison on my blade. Then let's go!
Watch out! Grenade!
I can't do that.
These murals probably have a religious meaning. If the saint came here, this must have been where he lived.
Let's take a closer look at these paintings. We may learn something from them. This mural is very ancient. It depicts an old man dressed as a priest getting his face painted by a masked native. This mural depicts an old man praying in front of a face in the mountain. He's holding a rosary. Saint Matthias. Praying to Enon Miel Frictimen. I don't know these glyphs, but these spirals are native symbols. There are some words in our ancient language next to them. The light and the earth are the two faces of a same power. It's impossible to know if this is a translation or another sentence. But this is a message that would seriously displease the Inquisitors. Engraved tablets. They resemble the ones we recovered in Eden. We should take them with us. The researchers would be delighted to study them. There are some native symbols here. And some letters I recognize, as if someone had tried to write in the native language using our alphabet. Men duis dat, enon mil frictimen. This is incredible. Saint Matthias would have known about the spirit of the island and would have prayed to him. Looks like a chaplet made of pewter. It's rather basic, but it was made a long time ago, and it undeniably comes from the continent.
I seem to recall that their saint is often described as using a similar object. Incredible. That should make the entire University of Al-Saad howl with laughter. The saint founder of Thélème worshipped the natives' gods.
I would appreciate it if what we just discovered stayed a secret for the time being.
Yes, of course. I'm sorry, but I find this so amusing.
I wonder what I should do with these relics. Eugenia probably didn't imagine that Saint Matthias lived his life in a way that's so different from what they advocate. As for Virgil, he wasn't wrong. Such a revelation will certainly cause a schism in Thélème.
I know how difficult keeping some secrets can be, and this one is huge. It could lead to peace with the natives, as much as it could lead to a civil war.
I already took sides in their quarrel. If I change my mind, I'm afraid that it might be seen as treason. I'll think about it on the way there. Let's go back to the researchers' camp. I can't do that.
So, did you find anything?
We discovered a cave that was inhabited a long time ago by a whole group of people, mostly natives, who had obviously created a sacred site, as the place was guarded by a creature.
And have you found traces of our holy founder? New relics? Perhaps some tablets?
There were also frescoes on the site, representing Saint Matthias.
Frescoes? Tell me more. This is fascinating.
He was shown having his face painted by a native. On the other, he prayed to a god of the mountain.
You can't be serious. You mean to say that our saint converted to the cult of the islanders?
That is what emerges from our findings, yes. Other objects that I was able to bring back also point in this direction. Look, there are inscriptions. These tablets and also this chaplet.
His chaplet. I cannot believe it. It is so... Excuse me. I cannot find the words to express how I feel. You must come with me. We must go and present all these discoveries to the Mother Cardinal. You realize our entire dogma will have to change. So far, anyone who wanted to question it would have burned their fingers. Literally, alas.
And you think that this time they'll listen?
We have solid proof. All this evidence. With your support, we will convince her to reveal the truth.
I see. I will do my best to help you.
It seems we are arriving right on time. You did well to warn us, Brother Virgil.
Virgil. How did you know?
I'm afraid that Your Excellency's lies weren't very convincing.
We were informed of your discoveries and of the danger they represent. We demand that you hand them over to us immediately, so that they can be destroyed.
How can you even suggest the destruction of relics written by the hand of our founder?
Out of love for our dogma, for our faith, and for our nation. But since you refuse to comply with our orders, you leave us no choice.
Death to the heretics!
Bit of poison on my blade.
Let's go!
Watch out! You think you know how to fight?
See if you can ward off this fate.
I cannot believe that I just fought my own brothers in faith. The fact that the Inquisition is after us is very disturbing, Excellency.
We would do well to hasten to San Mateus. They will not dare to attack you there. Even if these men were the last forces that the Inquisition could send us.
You are right. All this proves is that I will not succeed with... There is a risk that the Mother Cardinal will also reject our discoveries.
And I could bring Petrus with me. He will surely find the words to...
That would be most helpful. Father Petrus is renowned. In any case, we must present our research to Mother Cardinal as I will study the tablets one last time to make... And I will meet you at the palace in San Mateus to plead...
Understood. See you soon, Sister Eugenia. Be careful.